All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we got round two with the one and only Shill Gates. Most of you guys already know who this guy is. He's the founder of Windows 98, aka EXE. Super prominent meme coin in the IC, the biggest meme coin in the IC, I think, yeah, technically ever. So, yeah, Shill, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, so I'm Shill. I started Windows back in November. Windows, it's a meme coin, but we also have a fully on-chain desktop front end. We have a little advertising app that does in-house advertising within our operating system and website. That's also all on-chain. And yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys are a fanatic viewer of the channel, you know that I had Shill on quite a while ago. I think it was back in March. I think the market at that time was really, really hot. It was when we first made that move up to 60, 70K. I think EXE was probably around like 60 cents or so, something like that. But in the last time we talked, we kind of just talked about, I think some of the stuff we're going to talk about today, but things have changed a lot in the IC community since then with, the meme coins, DeFi, EXE specifically. But before we get into all that, let's talk about, or at least could you tell us what's going on with EXE right now?
Yeah, like you said last time we talked, it was probably about March, and since then, we had a little presentation at ICPCC. Been plugging away at some code stuff in the background. We have a new desktop coming out very soon, new Whitepaper. We've had a big run up, peaked around, I want to say like $2.40, and we've been pulling back since then. Yeah, so I guess that's where I'm at now. We're just been building in the background, got this new desktop coming out, and Whitepaper.
Yeah, and in case you guys are wondering, $2 was about a $20 million market cap, and for a coin on the IC, that's really, really big considering it didn't go to the SNS. So, and I think EXE is definitely going to go to nine figures a cycle, as long as ICP doesn't completely shit the bed, of course. Yeah. Now let's talk about kind of just meme coins in general. So the last time we talked, the state of the IC was, ICP back when we first had that run up in January and we saw this big influx of people come in. That's when we saw the first big meme coin boom ever. Now, at first, a part of the community kind of had a hostile stance towards meme coins, which is okay. That's just kind of how some things are. But it's kind of changed now, where meme coins are being accepted a lot more in the IC overall. Of course, the community I'm involved with the most in the Telegram, meme coins have always been a big part of it and everything. We've always known that. And, we've won really big because of that. But now it seems like the entire community has kind of taken an approach where they are now being a lot more accepting of it. And I kind of want to know your thoughts on this because we talked about this a little bit at the Open Summer DeFi talk, just about meme coins in general and what they can do for the ecosystem. So what are your thoughts on kind of the whole thing with meme coins and IC?
Yeah, like I said before, meme coins here, I think there's a lot more that you could do with them, since we could build these front ends on chain. It just opens up a lot of possibilities to people that might not have the experience to do that kind of intense background work dealing with DeFi stuff and things like that. Something kind of unique to ICP. Another thing is, people, they want to trade coins, and the meme coins are what are trading. I mean, it's what's got the liquidity. The communities have been thriving here. They've been growing constantly. I mean, mine, I don't have the metrics on it offhand, but I mean, month over month, we're picking up new members like crazy. We're seeing people from new ecosystems come in. We're getting them into other dApps like OpenChat. They're loving it.
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest thing, it's clear now that the meme coin super cycle is real. If you look at Solana, if you take a look at the broader market that we're trying to capture in ICP, which is basically Solana and Ethereum, the biggest winners there are all the meme coins. It's, it's Bonk, it's Whiff, it's Pepe, it's all these random fucking coins. You see the celebrity coins now, all this stuff. And I think when it comes down to, I think they're just super easy to onboard people with. And I think when it comes to some people kind of just get scared away from some of the, like, just normies in general kind of get scared away from some of the tech stuff, and they just like the fucking dog. Like I said this before, but like literally, if you go talk to a normie on the street, they don't really give a shit about any coin except Dogecoin. I have no clue why, but it's just the way it is. Like literally, I was at a like weed shop. Obviously, don't do any of this, kids. But there was like a little Bitcoin ATM there, and I was with my friend who's like really not into crypto like that, and he wanted to buy Dogecoin on the thing out of all the coins. I know it's just one situation, but like I swear, every single time you talk to somebody who's like not super hardcore in the crypto and they're kind of just like chilling, they always want the meme coins. I have no clue why. But
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because of how popular that specific meme is, but I guess that's just a thing. Dog is funny, right?
yeah, pretty much. And I think it's as simple as that. And I think in the IC, we are seeing a lot of good meme coins come out besides, EXE. I think you've done a great job of kind of like leading the way and showing the guys, like kind of how to run things, I guess, or at least showing them that it's possible. Like we've seen projects like Wumbo, Dominic, they've done really good. Clown with the relaunch has done super good. Just like pure meme coins. And I also like, you talked about this earlier, but it really lowers the barrier to really just get involved. I think, like the clown dev Joey is just a 20-year-old kid who started coding Motoko not too long ago, and he's kind of just taken on this role, but it's making a big impact on the ecosystem. And you're seeing a lot of people, you can literally come in my Telegram, you can mint a coin on MCSM, and you don't need to know how to code, and you can become the founder of a meme coin project. And if you do it properly and you market it properly, it can actually do very, very good and onboard a lot of people to the space to then get to things like OpenChat and all that other kind of stuff. I don't think like when it comes to just I don't see adoption. I don't really see adoption when it comes to IC coming. I don't see people going from OpenChat to meme coins. I see people going from meme coins to OpenChat when it comes to like the serious, the super exclusive IC dApps, besides the DeFi, because the DeFi is pretty much needed, which we can talk about in a second. But what do you think about that in terms of like just onboarding people to the ecosystem and funneling them to like, because you're doing that with OpenChat. I know you have the big Windowed OpenChat platform.
Yeah, I mean, we have over 10,000 members on there now. But I agree with you there. I think the activity now is going to come from the DeFi side of things into the other dApps, just because that's what's popular in crypto. And, that's just what people know. And I think that's what'll bring them over first before anything else. Because, people already have these other applications out there on Web 2. They use Telegram, Discord, and all this other stuff. And a lot of them don't know enough or don't have enough reason to switch. And, what they know is crypto and DeFi. And so getting them that way, it's just something familiar, I guess.
Yeah. And I think it's been, we've kind of been talking about this a little bit, but DeFi is super, super, super important. In my personal crypto philosophy, in every single blockchain, I see if like, the blockchain's a house, I see DeFi and meme coins kind of being like the floor, like in like the infrastructure of the house. Like if you don't have good DeFi and your chain doesn't have solid meme coins, then the rest of it's probably not going to end up happening, just in my personal opinion. When it comes to at least, adoption in the user base. Of course, you can talk about enterprise, and that's a whole separate conversation. But when it just talks about, getting users, getting volume, getting liquidity, I think DeFi and meme coins are the two most important things. I think DeFi being the most important because, Solana, the reason why it popped off so hard before, the big meme coins went off and everything was the fact that they had solid DeFi. Phantom Wallet's really good. Jupiter launched. Jupiter is an amazing exchange. And I think on the IC, we need to start, obviously we're getting there. I think we're seeing, like, in my opinion, ICP Exchange is right now the best DEX we have. I think it's super solid. Of course, on the mobile, it's still kind of fucked, but I think they're going to work that out. But it's, in my opinion, it's the fastest. It works pretty well. It's smooth. I like how they do the reclaim with the sub-wallet. Really nice. But talk about, like, kind of IC DeFi.
Yeah, I mean, I think things have improved. There's always improvements happening. ICPEX is pretty cool. It would be nice to see some more liquidity over there. Windows has done over 450,000 transactions I'm looking at now. I really have not too many complaints about the DeFi other than it might feel a little slow. And when it comes to like token launches and stuff, we do need some better tooling there just because of the nature of how the IC works with the Q system, since we don't have gas fees and, you know, high slippages. And when these tokens launch with high slippages, it's really hard to get a swap in. And you can't do things like you can on other chains where you could pay a little extra gas to jump in line. So I think when we get EVM canisters, like something like Infinity, I think that'll open up DeFi a lot more. You know, just I think a lot more volume will come in from that too, just because of all the stuff that already exists in Solidity.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the consensus. Like, everyone knows that we need to improve the base layer DeFi, and then we need Bitfinity to come out, but then that's a whole nother separate thing. When is Bitfinity going to come out? Is it going to come out? Which is kind of a separate conversation. I think, you know, I think the DeFi here gets a little, I think it's good that we're very critical. I do think, you know, we're having, you know, DeFinance is going to be coming out with a borrowing and lending platform in the next, you know, month or so. We saw Water Neuron launch their platform. They didn't add liquidity to their token, which we can talk about in a second, which is kind of stupid in my opinion. And then, you know, the DEX, like I think ICP Exchange, I really think it's a fine thing. Like I'll tell you, like just being brutally honest, when you're onboarding someone from Solana or Ethereum, I don't think Uniswap's that good. I hate Ethereum, but you know, when you're trying to onboard somebody to the ecosystem, they go to ICP Swap. You know, I love you guys, ICP Swap, but you have the 5, you know, canister step, and then it's sometimes the tokens go to the fucking moon, and you have to go reclaim them. It's not very good. I had a situation with an influencer happen months ago where I onboarded them. They go to ICP Swap and they got fucked. And they're kind of like, fuck you, dude. Like, I'm never going to use this shit again. Obviously, they didn't actually say that. But, you know, I had to basically play tech support with them. And I'm like, man, I can't fucking bring any influencers here if this is what's going to be. Now, thankfully, the DeFi is getting a lot better. You know, we're seeing, as I said before, ICP Exchange and, you know, all these other DeFi products that are coming out, which is going to allow a lot more TVL to come in. But that's really what, you know, if you just objectively speaking, you look at the TVL in crypto, where is it all based? It's all based in DeFi. All the trading volumes in DeFi, meme coins are the ones that are performing the best. These are kind of just like the basic things. In my opinion, when it comes to, you know, the SocialFi stuff in the IC, I think it's great, but I think that's kind of like the icing on top. I don't think you can have an actual, you know, ecosystem that has liquidity and users with just a bunch of SocialFi products and then weak DeFi. It's, you know, it's kind of putting the cart before the horse, if you know what I'm saying. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of been one of my focuses too, is just like building strong liquidity for Windows, just so, you know, it's a token people can trade easily. You know, we got big pools in ICP, obviously. Something like, I think the total value of both sides is like 600 grand on ICP Swap now. And then we have big pools of, or decent sized pools of CKBTC, CKUSDC, Dominic, Wumbo, Bits, all different kinds of tokens. So, I mean, you can trade anything for EXE right now. And I'm hoping that could kind of like serve as an example. It seems like people are starting to demand that a lot more from these SNS projects that aren't putting it up. I couldn't tell you why they're not. I don't understand it. Like I said, you know, I've been active in crypto for 6-7 years now, and I couldn't tell you a single project that launches without some kind of plan for providing liquidity or for incentivizing people to provide it.
Yeah, I think it's the most insane thing ever. You know, we see some of these SNS projects. I talked about this months ago with a certain project. And it got a lot of steam. Of course, I was a little kind of brutal with the way I did it, but I've actually done it twice, the 2 SNS projects. Well, I guess 3 now. But the first one added a little bit of liquidity. They added like 20K liquidity because I made a video, and I was like, hey guys, add some liquidity. The second one just said, fuck you, no. The third one, I don't think Water Neuron had they added anything. I don't know what is going on with that. But let's talk about why it's so important to add liquidity and why it actually matters to grow the ecosystem. And actually, I'm going to, just be brutally honest. It's very, very harmful that we have, products that are listed on the NNS that have horrible liquidity. It is horrible for our ecosystem. The reason why, at least, kind of my opinion, is when someone's coming outside of the ecosystem, let's say they're coming from Solana or Ethereum, and they're coming in and they want to trade these products that are listed on the NNS, and then they go to their fucking token on ICP Swap or ICPX, and there's 50% slippage in literally a couple $1,000s TVL, and then you go to the SNS and you see they raise like millions of dollars. That's not how. The biggest marketing tool for every single project is their token. Point and simple. It's the easiest thing. It's very easy to shill a token. It's how a lot of people get on board. It's why meme coins are so big, because people like holding tokens. And it's really harmful when we have these projects that are, getting a lot of promotion and they have zero liquidity and people cannot trade their token. Most people in crypto are here to make money. Point blank. And when people are able to make money in the ecosystem, it attracts more users. Nobody wants to be in an ecosystem where people aren't making money. You know what we want to see? We want to have people making TikToks a year from now saying, I made $1 million in the ICP ecosystem. That's what we want to see. That's what's going to drive users and drive volume. We don't want fucking people saying they bought a coin and has $3,000 liquidity and they raised millions of dollars, which is a real thing, which is absolutely absurd, but kind of went on a little tangent there. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I totally agree. It makes no sense to me. It's not like they're losing the money. They could always recall it at any time too. The liquidity still belongs to them. But yeah, it makes getting and selling these tokens impossible, and it just seems like it's more of a fundraiser at that point. I really don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a standard. Adding liquidity when you've raised millions of dollars is something that's very standard in crypto. I can't even imagine it, because some of these guys running these projects are thinking, well, they're just going to come on and they're just going to use my application and they're not going to want to trade the token. I'm like, you understand there's probably a better chance of them just trading your token rather than even using their app, right?
It looks shady too.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes literally zero fucking sense. I mean, objectively speaking, if you invest in some of these projects, you basically got rugged. There's no difference between a guy spinning up a meme coin and then just pulling liquidity than having these high market cap coins with zero your coins are worthless, basically. Some of these projects, you go and try and sell them, brother, even if you have, $10,000 worth, there might be $5,000 worth of liquidity. So you're essentially you're trapped. Which personally, I'm here to make money. I'm here to make money in this ecosystem. And I think, once again, I said this, most people in crypto are. And I think it's very important that you're able to trade the token. And also, it's tough. It's like, if I'm going to onboard someone to the ecosystem, as I said before, and they see some of our leading products have no liquidity, it's going to be a shit show. But the good thing is that there's projects like EXE and more that are, focusing on adding liquidity, etc. And we're basically going to catch the bid. That's the reality of it. Because you look at EXE is getting $50,000 bids. Well, because it's one of the only tokens that really can get that.
Yeah. I mean, I think we might have the top volume. If not, we're second in volume on ICP Swap. I'm sure probably somewhere up there too overall if you counted all the exchanges. But yeah, it should be, I guess right now as it exists, there needs to be more due diligence on the people voting for these SNSs. It needs to be something that's brought up more, is that these projects should have plans for liquidity. It's uncalled for that this stuff is in the NNS wallet and people can't even trade it.
Yeah, I mean, in my personal opinion, the way to handle it is us as a community, you got to just step up and kind of raise your voice. I don't even like doing it sometimes, but it's needed. I've staked basically my whole brand on this ecosystem, and I'm not just going to let it be a shit show. We need to call out, of course, I think we're 100% moving in the right direction. When I called out the project in January for not adding liquidity, the sentiment was 50-50. Now, recently when me and you were kind of talking about Water Neuron not adding liquidity on Twitter, it was more I would say 80-20 or something like that, where most people are like, hey, you guys got to put up liquidity. Because people are starting to, I think the community is honestly, they're learning a lot more about what crypto is about. It's about trading. That's kind of what the game's about. And I was really pleased to see that, because we need more. And I think, I don't want to be the guy, I don't like going to Definity for things. I don't like being hey, Definity, you should make them. Definitely probably should. I mean, at the end of the day, if you remember back in summer of 2023, the whole Sonic SNS situation led to Definity kind of putting this thing where they kind of decide who makes it through the SNS. I don't think they should be allowing projects through if they don't have a liquidity plan. That's my personal opinion. I don't. It literally makes zero sense. The whole thing. It's the weirdest thing ever. But
Yeah, I think there should be some kind of requirement. People probably need to bring it up in the forums more.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
No, I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing, and I think like overall, my feelings about ICP. There's been a lot of FUD lately, but I think I'm overall getting super bullish because I talk about this all the time. We're at a point where we're on a chain that has a pretty high market cap, and there previously wasn't much DeFi, and the DeFi is currently being built out. I think by the time we roll into 2025, when the market really picks up, like we see that 100K Bitcoin in 2025, I think ICP DeFi is going to be at that point where it's like, all right, we can really get in here and trade, and things are going to be looking a lot better. So I'm super, super optimistic for what's coming. I just still think there's a couple things we need to, like, I think most people, the liquidity thing, I think is getting sorted out. I think the net, if someone tries to go to SNS again and they don't add liquidity, I think there's going to be a shitstorm that happens.
Yeah, there's no reason that SNS projects should be providing less liquidity than Scott Summers or something, or me, or...
No, literally though, bro. No, that was the craziest thing ever. When the fucking water drone SNS happened, literally everyone in the chat in the Pumpers Telegram was like, dude, Scott Summers token literally has more liquidity. Like, literally. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, oh my god. That was just, like, funny. But, like, that's not a good look at all.
I have no idea if they've added anything yet or if they're planning to. Hopefully the little bit of hell that was raised gets them to do something at least, or at least do some kind of incentivizing of it, like through LP farms or something.
Yeah, and I think we also, like, I had this happen in Zurich, and I've had this happen actually at a couple times. Hong Kong, Zurich. People will come up to me and say, that thing you said on Twitter, I agreed with. And I'm like, yo, you didn't say anything on Twitter about it. Like, you're fucking hiding. And then in real life, you're like, dude, I completely agree and everything. And I understand not everyone wants to come out and say things, but we need to the community's small, and we need to step forward sometimes, and we got to raise our voices if we want to get shit done. Like, at the end of the day, I think it's important to, like, we have to be, we honestly have to kind of be critical with each other to a degree. I understand, like, when it comes to development and all this other shit, it takes time and stuff, but something simple as just adding money to a token needs to happen. I don't really understand how Definity hasn't. I know I don't want to point the finger at Definity, but I really, really don't understand how they have not done anything, like, about this, or at least been like, hey guys, just add like $100,000 liquidity, which is honestly nothing. I think they should drop, I think they should, be dropping like $500,000 in that, to make it actually tradable. I will commend the Ghost team for using a lot of money for liquidity. So that's something they did, which was awesome, which no other SNS project has really done, is they added a lot of liquidity. OpenChat has good liquidity for their token. But that's, at the end of the day, when you talk about, like, the project, like, you can't even, how are you supposed to onboard an influencer to this ecosystem to shill a project? And then the token has fucking $5,000 liquidity, bro. The math is not mathing. And it hurts us all.
Bringing it up too. It's like, it's just ridiculous that we have to bring it up at all.
All right, now let's change the tone of topics, because I think we've kind of, everyone who's watching this probably gets the point now. But now let's talk about, like, I guess, strategies for success for our meme coins. I think there's been some really good, we talked about this a little bit earlier, some really good meme coins that have come up. But what are some things you're doing to make EXE so successful? You don't got to reveal all your secrets, but give us a couple pointers.
I guess the main thing has just been staying active, and then I think focusing on Twitter has been a big part of it. We use OpenChat to do prize drops to get people, to go post memes and do stuff on Twitter. We'll drop them a little prize box or, some tips here and there. And it gets people out. And, we have decent engagement numbers on Twitter, and people are seeing our stuff, and that's bringing them in. Yeah,
for sure. I need to get more active on OpenChat. I use OpenChat every day. I'm just like, fuck, I'm always so swamped because you know how it is, bro. It's just so many people trying to talk and all this stuff and all these
Yeah,
channels and everything. So, but I
yeah,
think,
it's a little different to
yeah,
get used to. It's kind of like a mashup of Telegram and Discord. I guess like the Telegram with they have the communities now, so it's somewhat similar to that.
yeah, for sure. I think, I really like, I'm bullish. That's the thing. I like OpenChat, but I'm extremely bullish on Telegram. My personal prediction, um, I think Packabot, which is the Telegram trading bot, bonk bot of ICP by Alpaca, I think it's going to be a top 5 used product on the IC. Telegram, if you look at it in the TON blockchain, like it's insane. I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
Oh
And I
no,
think, and kind of my point to this whole thing is like why I'm so bullish on Packabot and really just like people doing stuff on Telegram is we need one of the another problems we've had in the IC is just getting the onboarding process. As honestly, it's been a little bit difficult, and by having things like Packabot, where literally like there's over 900 million active users on Telegram, and they can now trade on ICP with just their phone, which may seem like dumb to some people, but like legitimately, there's you can be in a bar in the middle of fucking Wisconsin and some guy can have Telegram and you can onboard him to the IC and he doesn't have to go to DApp or any of that shit. He can do it all in Telegram. Create a wallet and start trading right there. I think we need more
yeah,
stuff like that where it's just easier to onboard people to the ecosystem, and it's not like this because I think stuff when it comes to crypto, it can be a little intimidating. Like for if you're like super native to like just playing around on the computer, it's not like a big deal. But to onboard older people and also people who are not familiar with technology as much, you know, we just need easier onboarding products, basically.
yeah. I think that kind of stuff's great. Anything that makes I see more accessible and easier to use is good in my mind. I think we have to build stuff out on these Web2 services too that interact with it. I think that's a great use case. Telegram has tons of users.
Yeah, for sure. Like an example is in my Telegram, I have a link to my OpenChat that's there. So it's like my third pin message. I don't think that many people are gonna make it down to the third pin message, but I like have a funnel. So I'll when people are new to the IC, they're coming through my Telegram. We saw this back in January when we saw the big explosion when ICP just jumped. We saw a wave of people come from Ethereum and Solana, and they're all going to Telegram. That's the truth. Like they'll go from Telegram, then they'll go to OpenChat. That's like the onboarding process I saw. People are not going to come from Solana and Ethereum or the normal world and go straight to OpenChat. It's just not going to happen. That's my opinion. They'll go to Telegram, then they'll make it to the OpenChat.
Yeah, and it's Telegram's way. I mean, it's what these other chains use too. It's just like primarily Telegram. You don't really get that much from Discord that I've noticed. I always see them primarily in Telegram and then coming in OC too.
Yeah, I think it's really great. I'm super like I think at this time right now we're at a good spot in the ecosystem too where we've kind of seen like I think we know who the winning teams are now in the ecosystem. There could be a couple surprisers that come up, but I think by the time we roll into Q4 2024, we're going to know which teams are probably going to come up on top. And there's not really like when we talk about just bidding coins, I'm only going to be bidding really DeFi and meme coins. That's basically it. I think if you don't have any meme coin exposure, I mean, I don't, no comment, I guess. I guess you're not that interested in making money. Because when you take a look at the coins that have run super, super hard, it's, in Daminic, Wumbo, EXE, all these Clown has done super good. MCS has done really well. And like DeFi plays as well. Like I think Alpaca is going to get a nice bid at some point. We got some really cool stuff planned for that in the future. I think, Water Neuron, if they added liquidity, could easily blow it out the water. No pun intended. But I think we're going to see, like I'm pretty bullish, so.
Yeah, I think you got to be exposed to some meme coins. And people throw that around like it's a bad thing all the time. Windows, we're building stuff too. We have the new desktop coming out that's permissionless, so anybody can add their apps to it. We have the advertisement stuff that works within our little ecosystem. And then we're working on some DeFi tooling stuff too with MicroDAO. Some more information will be coming out about that in the white paper this week. And yeah, I mean, so, you know, we're not just a meme coin, we are building stuff. Sure, we have some good memes and a funny logo, I guess, but you know, it's not like we're just these tokens on other chains that don't do anything.
Yeah. I think that's really awesome. We kind of saw that same thing for MCS when we were at Zurich, me and Matthias, because we ran into a bunch of people who held the coin. And they were like, isn't it just a meme coin? And it's like, yeah, it is a meme coin, but there's also a whole, you know, aggregator being built that's, you know, going to be coming out in the next month or so, hopefully. And we already have the MCSM minter, which has been the most popular minter in all of ICP. So that's really awesome. But I also think, this is my personal opinion, I don't think you need utility if you're doing a meme coin. I think it's great, but I don't think you need it. I think we've seen a couple projects do this where they, I guess you could even say this kind of happened with MCS a little bit, where they kind of stray off. The thing is, you know, obviously with Magic Swap, that's going to be, you know, in theory, a product that's going to, you know, generate a ton of money and everything, which is super bullish for the token. But we've seen some meme coin projects that in the past, they might have stirred off from the memes and didn't focus on the memes. I think memes are super important because they're very culturally relevant. And they're also just, you know, once again, they're fun. You got to keep things fun at the end of the day. If the community gets stale and the community gets boring, that's how a blockchain dies. I called bluff on a lot of coins during the bear market. I remember during the bear market, I was looking at the top, I think ICP was in the top 40 to 50 the entire bear market, and I was looking at some of these other coins ahead of it, and I'm like, they have no community on Twitter. Like, our community's tiny, but like, they actually have nobody. So I'm like, what the fuck? Who are their users? And of course, they've dropped, you know.
Yeah, there's something to meme coins. Like, they're just easier to market. I don't know if it's like just that they're more playful and the lightheartedness of it. People have lower expectations. You know, it's just more fun. You know, with these serious projects, they're always expecting something. And when those expectations aren't met, then they're upset.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't understand the whole psychology of it, but for some reason, it's just easier to market.
Yeah, for sure. And I think also, I think it'd be great at some point, maybe I'll do it, maybe you could collab with me on it or something, but just basically a guide on how to do a meme coin, pretty much. I think that would be super, super helpful. In my personal opinion, I think the more on-chain activity we have, the better. So I think if we have 100 meme coins being created a day, I think it's actually better for the chain because that means we have more on-chain activity. It means we have more liquidity and we have more potential for something to blow up. Like, it sounds stupid, but literally we could have someone could make a fucking meme coin. It does pretty well and some tweets about it and it sends. That's all it takes. It doesn't take much. It can be super random. But I think what one thing we kind of need to focus on is just getting more users and getting more liquidity and getting more on-chain action. We just need more volume. We need more TVL. And that starts with really, I think that's why MCSM has been like, Daminit came from MCSM. Wumbo came from MCSM. I'm trying to think, there's so many other coins that came from MCSM that have done like fairly well. And obviously there's coins that haven't done as well. But that's kind of the name of the game. It's a free market. There's coins that do good, that get chosen by the market, and some that don't. And of course, there's work that is involved with it.
Having these coins like EXE and Wumbo and Daminit that have all done very well, that's going to get more people interested in coming over here and seeing what's going on too, because they're going to want to get a piece of it.
Yeah, for sure. And like I saw the clip of Wendy talking about EXE the other day, and that's just kind of an example of like, you know, I think she's going to be I don't know why, but I just feel like influencers from the other ecosystems are going to be a lot more willing to bid EXE than just some like, I don't even know, some random like techie coin, I guess. And that's kind of just been the whole narrative. We've seen it in crypto. And I do think, I talked about this in a tweet. I said, Definity should market make EXE to 9 figures. And people were saying, oh my God, your EXE bags, it must be fucking massive, dude. And I'm like, no, that's not my point. My point is, EXE can be the funnel to the whole ecosystem, as in, you know, with Pepe, with Whiff, with Bonk, they didn't just get bid up to $1 billion. Obviously, they had some first, you know, organic initial traction, but they didn't get bid up to billions of dollars naturally. Pepe did not go to top what are they, top 25, or they were a top 20 at some point. They flipped Uniswap. They did not get
Yeah.
there by just the market bidding. They had serious market makers, and stuff like that going on. I
Yeah,
think we kind of,
I mean, even bonk like happened overnight.
yeah. I mean, I know the guys who market made Bonk. Same with Pepe as well. I know I'm like two people away from the guy who market made Pepe. I know the guys who market made Bonk. I'm sure it was kind of the same deal with Whiff. I do believe the Solana Foundation was probably behind both of those coins, like doing stuff, but it works. And the point I was trying to make is, no, I'm not just trying to make all the EXE baggies rich. It's a literal onboarding tool to the ecosystem. If you take a look at why Base blew up, it's because Brett. That Brett is what literally blew up the entire Base ecosystem, and I know for damn sure that was strategic, because you have all these fucking influencers making videos saying Brett is at $1 billion, and everyone's like, oh my god, I can make money on Base now. Let's go to Base, and then Base blew up, you know. And if we had a coin that was like, hey, EXE just hit 200 million, obviously in these market conditions it couldn't happen, but let's just say ICP ran to $50. If we had EXE, you know, hit multiple 9 figures, we can make fucking, you know, we can have a ton of KOLs come in and make videos about EXE's doing so good, and everyone's gonna look in and say, hey, we can make, you know, money in the IC. We're bored, you know, we've been trading in Solana and all in Ethereum, and we're bored. Let's go to the IC. There's something new. There's a winner. People have been proven to make money. And I think that's how we're gonna really. That was kind of the whole point I made with it. It's not about making the EXE baggies rich or myself rich. It's about, you know, getting the exposure to the ecosystem and onboarding people to the eco.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's like, you know, that's what made BNB huge in 2021, and that's why Sol's huge now. It's where all the action's happening in DeFi.
Yeah, for sure. And my kind of person, we were talking about this in the Telegram today. Me, Sosa, and Pepe, and like 2 other guys were kind of talking about this for, like, honestly, probably 30 minutes or so. We were talking about the use cases of crypto. And in my personal opinion, obviously when it comes to the enterprise stuff and all that, that's kind of future speculation. The 2 main use cases for crypto right now overall is stable coins and the casino. And by the casino, I mean DeFi, and trading, basically. DeFi, meme coins, and stable coins are the 3 use cases for crypto right now. And I think if we can really, obviously, you know, we saw the introduction of CKUSDC. We need a native USDC. Like, I sent it to someone at Definity. I said, we need, if you go on Coinbase and if you just look at like the change you can receive USDC on, we need ICP there. You know, that's an easy win for us. We need to be on DEX tools. I recently tagged someone at Definity again. I said, we need to get on DEX tools. These are easy things we can do to easily get more liquidity on. You know how many people are using Coinbase and sending USDC? That's easily.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to see that on there too.
Yeah, and I think that's why, like, Near Protocol has done really well this cycle, and a big thing they've done is they've taken those steps. We need to get integrated into kind of the whole pool with everybody else. We recently saw, you know, ICPX, you know, hats off to them for being the first guys to get us on Dex Screener. That was absolutely massive. Like, that was probably one of the biggest moves I've seen from anybody, you know, recently when it comes to actually, you know, getting us more exposed, like liquidity and just opportunities to get people in the door. That was huge. But
Yeah,
these are easy.
awesome. I was surprised it was them. They kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it can be easily done. I'm sure we could get integrated in the DEX tools. I'm sure we could get into Coinbase and just have an actual native USDC. I think that's super important. But that's what most people are in crypto. They're here to make money and they're here to trade, you know, stuff. You know, at the end of the day, you look at it. I said this before in the video, but you look at the TVL and you look at like coins and projects that actually have a product market fit. It's just all DeFi and meme coins. That's literally it. I mean, just go on DeFi Llama. I feel like I've done this 1,000 times. Go to Ethereum or go to Solana and take a look at the TVL and just look at the products. It's all DeFi. That's it. You know, they have the liquid staking, they have the borrowing lending, they have all those, you know, all those yield, all that kind of shit. And that's what's really driving the money. And they also have a solid DEX as well. But that's kind of what makes the game, you know, run around. I think people are saying, oh, well, guess what? Cardano ran super fucking hard and they had no DeFi last cycle. Now, here's the thing. ICP, even if hypothetically this isn't going to happen because the DeFi is getting better and we do have good meme coins, hypothetically, if we didn't have good DeFi, it could probably still do super well. But the ecosystem would not catch the bid as hard. And you'd kind of see something, I think, play out with Cardano, where Cardano ran super hard, and then because there was nothing left to really bid in the ecosystem, it dumped early. If you look at what happened
Yeah,
last cycle,
it's just like there's not much interest in Cardano that I notice.
there's nothing.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at where we are now from where we were just like a year ago, I mean, it's crazy how much new stuff we have and how much things have improved. I mean, the TVL a year ago was, I wouldn't even want to look at it. It was like probably like $10,000. I mean, now we're in the millions, so it's
Yeah.
huge. And that's just going to keep growing, and things are just going to keep improving.
Yeah, man. I think things have gotten so much better. We have a long way to go. I think in these next 6 months, we're going to really clean it up and basically get our shit together before the, price of Bitcoin goes crazy and the whole market goes nuts. I think we're going to have our shit together by then. And it's true. Like, I see people talking. I mean, I was here through the whole fucking bear market. So, um, this is really, like, it's gotten a lot better. I mean, things were really, really bad during the bear market. I mean, it was just like there was nothing fucking going on. People talk about it's a ghost chain now. I'm like,
Yeah, it was like SNS1, and that was about it. And before that, yeah, absolutely, pretty much nothing.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I saw, recently. I think we should talk about this. Last MJS made a big thread talking about, how there's no real activity in the ecosystem and how the ecosystem is not too live. And I'll say my response to that is yes, compared to other blockchains, true, but I think we're 100% heading in the right direction. Like literally, I think if you're on the ground floor and you're bidding like meme coins and DeFi right now, obviously not financial advice, of course, but I think you should do pretty good considering you're at the bottom floor and we're seeing, kind of a narrative change in the ecosystem towards these two sectors that are extremely important. It's why Solana's done so well. They have fabulous DeFi. They've hammered the meme coins. Jupiter, if you've ever used Jupiter before, like it blows Uniswap out of the water, in my opinion. Same with Phantom. Phantom's really nice. But, if you literally just have a nice wallet and a nice DEX, it can do a lot of things. And then, obviously they got the KOLs and stuff. But, yeah.
And, like you said earlier, the DeFi and all that stuff is like, it's what's proven in crypto as a use case. We have these social networks and stuff, but it's just hard to gain users for them. We kind of got to go to where the users are, I think, and reel them in that way.
Yeah.
And then they get exposed to these other things.
Yeah, for sure. I've kind of become a proof of concept maxi. I've always been big on DeFi and meme coins because I didn't start out in IC. People know this. I started my professional work career in crypto and near protocol. I was very early there. So I've been in I worked in AVAX as well. So I've had, I'm not just an only ICP guy. I have exposure to a lot of ecosystems. I've worked in other ecosystems, so I kind of know the whole thing. Yeah, and it's basically that base layer thing. When it comes to just basically the proof of concept, at the end of the day, some of the stuff that's getting built on the IC, it may or may not work, but I think a borrowing lending platform, that's going to work because there's a proof of concept that's been shown on other chains. If you look at AVAX, AVAX did fare really well last cycle, and was there anything that much different between AVAX and, yeah, they made Trader Joe, which was the DEX of AVAX and everything, but if we can just, in my opinion, guys, if we get 1/10 of Solana's volume, we win this cycle. Next cycle, that's a different story, and we're not even going to discuss that. But if this cycle, if we can get 1/10 of Solana's volume, we'll all make a fuck ton of money if you play your cards correctly.
Yeah, I mean, getting volume like that would be great here. I think we just got to keep seeing, the liquidity in these coins grow and then new people coming in. And, I'd really like to see a bigger shift towards DeFi. I don't know if that has to come from Definity or, from the community level, but, doing things like getting the wallet situation handled. We really need a solid wallet. It's kind of one of the most basic parts of crypto. And, people come over here and they don't have a good experience with wallets and it's an instant turnoff. But, I mean, we have been, some things have been improving there. There are some okay options out there, but there's just not a real leader.
For sure, man. I think when it comes to the wallet situation. I think Plug's the most popular wallet. Like when I talk to KOLs who are not from this eco, they all use Plug if they're interested in IC. That's just the reality of it. I think the NNS is cool, but we need a Chrome extension, and that's why Plug's more adopted than the NNS outside of, ICP. I honestly, I don't, unless the NNS can get on Chrome extension or something like that, I don't think it will ever be adopted. Obviously, I use the NNS wallet, but I don't see it ever getting mass adopted unless they do certain things, because it's not user, like, it's not that it's not user friendly, it's just not as accessible as Plug. I think Plug gets a little more shit than they deserve. I don't think it's, honestly, I haven't had any problems myself on it. But it could be better. Like, I talked to Luke about this a little, and stuff. We kind of talked about, I don't want to share too much, but basically, I think Definity, in my personal opinion, needs to step in and kind of help them out and let's just get a nice wallet. We need to hammer something out. I don't know if making a new wallet's the right decision. I feel like we should just help out Plug and get it to Phantom's level. But what do you think?
Yeah. I just think we need something that's on par with other chains. I think it needs to be multi-chain. I think we need a wallet where it's possible to do everything that you need to do in it, like vote on with your neurons, hold tokens, interact with dApps, all be done in one place. Some stuff like that. Just stuff that's, a wallet that's comparable to something, the top wallets on other chains like MetaMask or Rabby or Phantom.
Yeah, for sure. And all the people who say, "Oh my gosh, IC is super new and we can't," that's a bunch of bullshit. Near Protocol, they have a great DEX and they also have a great wallet in Meteor Wallet. So all your fucking excuses, throw it out the fucking window, because we can have good shit and we can get it done quickly. I've seen Meteor Wallet done an extremely good job. It's like a now super nice wallet to use, and it works really good. So kudos to them for doing a good job. Obviously, with Ref Finance, the DEX on Near Protocol, that was made by the founder of Near Protocol, Ilya. So Near, the thing they've done super well is they prioritized Memecoins and DeFi, and it's worked out fairly well for them. Near's performed very well, and I'm not, and I will say the foundation did pivot. The Near Foundation wasn't like the biggest. They've always been big on DeFi. They were not always big on meme coins. I don't think really any foundation was that big on meme coins. I think Solana was kind of the earliest, and that's why they've won super big. But they made that pivot, and I think we are seeing Definity make that pivot for sure. Like, it's very clearly obvious at this point with what's going on with Solana and Base, where you cannot ignore it anymore. We can't ignore the fact that that's what's onboarding the users, and the Solana price has done fairly well. I talked about, like, I don't want to fucking suck my own dick again, but I was, I put 20 grand into Solana at $17, and I made multiple videos about how it was going to do super good, and it's done super good. So I'm not saying I'm the fucking all-knowing, but I'm saying I actually do know a lot about crypto. So, yeah.
I'm still salty for missing Solana. I remember that when it was since.
Yeah.
But, there's, with the wallet situation, there is cool alpha stuff like OISI out there. It's not really supported anywhere yet, but the idea of it's neat. It's an in-browser wallet. You connect to it with your internet identity, and it's multi-chain. It's open source as well. Definity made that. I don't know if you saw that new Orbit wallet I seen somebody post that on Twitter the other day. It's another thing made by Definity. I haven't looked into it too much yet, but it seemed like a lot more complex. They had things like multi-sig and stuff like that. So, it seems like we're not too far off from having that nice stuff. It would just be nice, to see something widely supported like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I also want to know your opinion. And this is gonna be another hot take, guys, but I'm not a fan of the principal ID. I don't understand why Definity did it. I have no clue why. I think it's harder because every time someone comes in a fucking IC, they're like, "What the fuck is this thing?" They go unplug, and then they're like, "Which one's my address?" And I'm like, "It can be either of them." And I even I think for Packabot, we were originally going to use the principal ID for something, and I went and told Seb, I'm like, "Hey, we got to use the address because this is not. If I'm onboarding someone from Solana, they're going to be like, what is this? What is this thing?" And it's another thing you have to explain. I think that's another problem the ICs face is when you're pitching someone the IC, it has to be done quickly. You can't, oh, it's, we have this chain fusion thing and it's bridge, but it's not a bridge. And then we have this principal ID and it's like basically an address, but it's not an address. And that whole thing, I personally would love if we could ditch the principal ID. That's a super hot take, but I think it would make the onboarding process a lot smoother. It's just one less thing we have to explain. It's just, it gets confusing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't care which one we got rid of, but it would be nice to just have a single one. It's above my pay grade. I couldn't tell you the exact reasons for all that. But, it would be nice to just be able to use one across exchanges and everything. It is really confusing for new people.
Yeah, and I mean, my kind of whole thesis around it was if Principal ID was what was mass adopted, we should do that. But if you go on Coinbase, everything's an address. If you go on every other chain, it's an address. So when you're bringing people over and you're trying to onboard new people, it just makes it a little more difficult. Now, obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the Principal ID is going to go away. But I do agree with you. It would be nice if we could pick one of the two, because it just gets really fucking confusing, because people are like, what the fuck is it saying? And it's just another conversation you have to have. I think that's another thing, like just the language in the IC. I think it's okay sometimes if we call things a bridge or we call things wrapped. Like with CKBTC, it's just like, oh, it's wrapped, but it's not wrapped. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's a fucking, I feel like every single time I pitch the IC to someone, they're not new. I've gotten to the point now where I just basically go with all the other terminology, because I don't want to sit there and have to explain that for 10 minutes and then the conversation's over and they're like, I still don't get it,
Yeah, I think I remember it having something to do with a long time ago when ICP was made. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've heard anything about that, but I think I remember hearing something about it being able to be phased out at some point. I don't know which one. But yeah, I mean, even if they had both of them, they could just require the exchanges to use the principles, or, that'd be nice, because it seems like the principles is what is mostly adopted in ICP here in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
The addresses are sub accounts, so I mean, yeah, I don't know why we're using those as exchanges.
Yeah, let me look on Kraken. Yeah, so on Kraken, they're obviously, if you're trying to deposit your ICP, you're using an address. And same thing with Coinbase. So, I know Principal ID is what's adopted here the most. And I use the PID too. But if I'm trying to onboard new people, it's just difficult. But, it is what it is. There's always going to be, I think the whole thing, like Solana is not an EVM, and they're able to pull it off where people were able to make the big switch. But the reason they were able to pull it off is because they just had such a nice DeFi and things weren't confusing. I don't think we need to confuse people and make conversations longer. I think things need to be simpler. And really, my whole bull thesis for ICP this cycle, at least when it comes to actually making money in the ecosystem, has been, I think, around when all crypto goes crazy, I think we'll see a big run up in Q2 of 2025, like a massive just FOMO and everything. I think what's going to happen is I think the people in Solana and Ethereum are going to get bored of trading there, and they're going to want somewhere else to trade. And my personal opinion, I think it's either going to come down to us or Near Protocol. And I'll be honest, guys, Near Protocol DeFi right now is better than ours. Not saying we can't make a comeback and do better than them, but I think those are the two. When I see the sentiment from the big influencers, it's from after Solana and Ethereum, and they're looking for the next ecosystem. Besides, it's kind of TON. I would say it's TON, Near, and ICP. And I think it's like we can step up and be that next chain where people want to, fuck around on, basically. But the DeFi is getting better, so I think we'll get there. And it'll come around, but we do have a lot of work to do. It's very competitive. I think this idea of we're alien tech and we're better and people are just going to use us because we say the tech's better and all this other bullshit is nonsense. It's just a bunch of baloney. We need the onboarding to be smooth. We need, strong DeFi. It's really I saw Crow make a tweet about this, and he said, it's very annoying when you're trying to pitch someone the IC and talking about alien tech and you seem like a LARP because the DeFi is fucking shitty. And he's not wrong. So yeah, those are kind of just my thoughts about the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just really, the little loose ends need to be tightened up. The principal thing with the exchanges, I don't know if that's at the exchange level that they just have to fix that. 'Cause, I mean, you could send ICP to a principal address. I don't get why you can't do it from an exchange. I'm not sure if it's just it's probably something like a legacy thing from back when ICP was launched, and it's just not updated yet. But yeah, we need to get stuff like that cleaned up, wallet situation cleaned up a bit, and then TVL.
Yeah.
Need to get those numbers up. We need to get the SNS projects that aren't locking anything to lock up some liquidity and get their tokens trading so people can buy and sell them.
Yeah, I think it's like main pointers are DeFi needs to get better. Let's get that TVL and volume up. Let's make the onboarding process easier. And if you're featured on the fucking NNS, you should have some TVL. I think Definity should be like, hey, if you're not adding TVL, we're going to kick you off, basically. If you raised X amount of money and you're not adding liquidity, then you should be kicked off. Like, I don't, it's like, what the fuck? It's the weirdest thing ever. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping these projects prove us all wrong and they come out the gate and they just add $1 million liquidity and we can all go to the moon.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, I mean, like, we're just going to keep improving. We're going to keep getting new tools. We're working on some stuff, some DeFi tooling that I think some people like with MicroDAO. We got the desktop that's basically going to work as like a living, breathing indexer of all the different ICP dApps. So everybody will be able to, find everything in the ecosystem there. And we just got to bring all this stuff together, tighten up the DeFi, and I think we're good.
Yeah. And I feel like we've hit a lot of the main points in this video today. I think we've been going for about an hour, so I think we'll wrap it up soon. But you're kind of just mentioning there, what are some things we can look forward from Windows and EXE?
Yeah, like I said, I'll be releasing the updated white paper this week. I'm going to be trying to get an initial version of the new desktop out. I completely rewrote that. We store a lot of data in a Motoko canister now on the back end to persist some states. We have a micro store there where different dApp owners, you could pay a little fee to list your dApp in the micro store, and then you as a user, you sign in with your wallet and you can install these different apps from the micro store into your desktop. And then, that makes it appear in your desktop and the icons there and in the start menu. So it's like a deeper, more realistic operating system experience we have going on now.
That's really cool. That's really good stuff. I think it's super, super, super important what you're doing. Super cool. We're making moves. EXE hitting 20 mil was a big deal. I think 100 mil, maybe it comes this year. I think it's possible. It kind of depends on the whole crypto market in general. But I would say, in my opinion, 100 million EXE should be a lock for this cycle. I think it sounds crazy, but I think $1 billion, if we have really good DeFi and we see ICP do exceptionally well, it could happen. I don't want to say that. I don't want to be a super big moon boy, but like the ultimate moon boy scenario, maybe it could play out. But I think EXE's going to do really, really well. Super strong community. You have some really good shills. Not trying to make a joke there, but yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess just say, stay tuned for what we got coming this week and what we got coming in the future. I think a lot of people are going to like it. I think it's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah.
We're going to keep growing the ecosystem and, working with other projects. We got a lot in the works there. I don't want to say too much, but there's a lot going on in the background.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm super excited for what we got going on. If you made it this far, I guess I'll show my shit now. Because you're pretty hardcore if you're watching this now. If you've been listening to us two talk for over an hour. Magic Swap is coming. That's going to be huge. Alpaca, Sebastian Long are always shipping, doing a great job with that. We got big stuff cooking. Definance should be coming out in the next month or so, which is going to be the first borrowing lending platform on the IC. Really cool stuff, but yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed this video, before actually, Shill, where can they find you on your socials or whatever?
You can find me on X at Shill Gatesy, ShillGatesy. And then Windows98.com for anything Windows.
Cool. And if you're watching this video, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and you can find me. My socials are just down low. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you.